right, well, hello everyone. Looks like we are right on time for starting the next Government Affairs social media live event for the Alaska Airmen's Association. And good to see a couple folks already joining up. We'll give folks a few more seconds to jump right in here, but my name's Adam White. We've been doing this for a couple of 3 months now, I guess. And so wanted to kind of continue that trend. I've got a lot of good feedback from folks that you appreciate the updates and a little bit of chance for some interaction and more timely interactions at least. So I am not at the Airmen's office this month. The past few times that's where I've been. I've been actually traveling quite a bit here the past couple of weeks. My plans were to be in the Anchorage office tonight for the Airmen's, but I am on the East Coast of the United States. Without getting too deep into all the personal details, but I'm here on the East Coast to attend a good friend's funeral tomorrow. And so the good thing about the internet is you can still do things just about from anywhere. So I'm here in my sister's dining room, and so thank you to her for allowing me to turn her dining room and kitchen into a live studio. But wanted to talk about a few things for you this time around this month, which, by the way, if you're wanting to see these later, we do archive them on YouTube. Sometimes they're easier to find there than they would be on Facebook. And I know on Instagram they kind of go away after a certain time. So the coronavirus has got folks talking all over the world, and it is impacting aviation. With some of the travels I've done here in the past couple of weeks, flight loads are significantly less than what they have been, and it is starting to impact some of the planning and other aspects of aviation in Alaska. You know, we hear about the cargo tech stops and those types of flights that come in and out of Alaska. The governor has made some announcements about state employees and their travels, limiting that. Of course, the world economy doing some crazy things affecting some of that as well. But with that, and the reason why I'm talking about that is because the coronavirus is talking about some changes in the way we do business and the way we enjoy aviation in our state. With that travel ban that the governor has put on for state employees, things are changing with the legislators. Tomorrow on Wednesday is going to be a Governor's Aviation Advisory Board meeting. Most folks teleconference into that on a normal basis, but most likely most of those folks are going to be teleconferencing and not be attending in person. Normally I would attend that meeting. They have them in Anchorage, but this month they were going to have it in Juneau, and I haven't quite heard yet what the final plan is for that. So people's travel arrangements are changing. Juneau, though, with the session going on there, fuel taxes are being talked about again, and up till this point there hasn't been any serious conversation about adding a tax increase for aviation fuel. It's been highway fuel and off-highway type stuff that has been in part of that big discussion. So still tracking that for us, but no news, no official news on any of that just yet. It has kind of come up in conversation, but nothing official. So other thing I wanted to make sure people knew and were aware of, you know, we through the great help of Oscar, a great guy that we had working for us for the Airmen's for quite some time, which I see he's watching now, so hi to Oscar. Through some of his efforts, along with some other folks there at Anchorage Tower, at Merrill Tower, with the Part 93 VFR procedures that we were able to get geo-referenced and have a data package for ForeFlight. Well, some of those have changed. They've been updated a little bit, and so I'm going to start the process of getting those updated for you for a new data package for ForeFlight that we'll have on our website soon, hopefully. But you can keep it in touch with us on social media, and we'll send out an email and reach out to folks and let you know when that occurs. So got a lot of good feedback from folks appreciating having that. I can tell you that I've used it several times. I don't live in the Anchorage area. I live up in the interior of Alaska, and so it has been very helpful for me to have those geo-referenced Part 93 VFR procedures. So we're going to work on getting those updated for you because I know a lot of folks want to have that current information. Speaking of things updating and changing, a little update on the Anchorage Airspace study that is going to start happening once the Air Force and the FAA figure out who's going to pay for it. That's going to be a long, drawn-out process. You've heard me talk about that before. It's going to be at least 3 years to 5 years, probably closer to the 5, maybe even a little bit longer. But trying to put in a ILS into JBER, the Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, and missed approach procedures are going to really mess with what we've got for airspace in the Anchorage Bowl. So there's going to be an airspace study. Lots of opportunities for all of you to let me know what you need to have done and what you need to see, what you'd like to see done, all of those things. I'll be updating you as we get deeper into it. It hasn't started yet. Again, the Air Force and the FAA are looking for ways to fund that study because it's not going to be cheap. I'm hoping that we can get a lot of things revised and updated and changed and a little bit better for our procedures coming and going from Lake Hood and from Merrill and Campbell Lake and all those other places. So stay tuned for more information about that. One of the other big issues that has come up in the national press that you may or may not have heard about, the national, and I'm having to check my notes because it's kind of a long title, but the National Center for the Advancement of Aviation. The Alaska Airmen's Association signed on to a letter of support for that, and a bill has been introduced in DC to start and fund an organization. Basically, it's a 5% of the interest that's earned from the Aviation Trust Fund that would fund this, basically a think tank is probably the best way to think of it, bringing together all the aspects of aviation, whether it's the airlines, whether it's the manufacturers, whether it's flight schools, whether it's just mechanics or pilots or small operators, anybody interested in aviation. This would be the place for everything, kind of a clearinghouse and a think tank as a way to further aviation in the United States. It's a pretty big deal, and the Alaska Airmen's Association was part of the signers of that letter recommending that that get introduced on the House floor in DC, and my understanding that has been introduced and is starting to work its way through. But that'll be a neat thing for us to see. You know, we've got a pilot and mechanic shortage right now, and it's forecasted to get even more severe in the years to come. So this is a way for us to try to get ahead of that. So those are just a few of the things that I wanted to make sure I briefed you on this month. I know a lot of folks have kind of asked what's our plan for the trade show. With the coronavirus out there, you know, it's always kind of wondering what's going to happen there. Thankfully, we've got some time. You know, it's not till the first weekend in May. As for now, we have no plans of postponing or delaying or stopping the trade show, the Great Alaska Aviation Gathering. However, we are paying close attention to what the government's recommendations are for that, and things could change down the road. But as of right now, we are still full steam ahead on planning and getting things lined up. I actually looked at the list of speakers a couple of days ago. That speaker lineup is going to be incredible this year. A lot of really good information. Some of these sessions, I've kind of seen a preview of what's going to be talked about, and it's pretty exciting stuff. So hope you can attend. If you can't, if you're not in Alaska, good reason to come visit. We'll give you some more information on that as we get closer. The other big thing is that we're still selling tickets for the raffle plane, the Cessna 180 that's being refurbished right now. You can check out our social media pages and find out what the latest progress is on that. I think I saw that we're looking at putting color on the airplane, going to start putting some of that blue on it. It's already been painted white, but now it's time to go back and put some color on it. So those are things that are going on. Always encourage you to get in touch with me with an email or here through social media. If you have a question, you can call our office and they'll relay those questions to me. And so it's always good to hear from our members out there. I appreciate you reaching out to us. glad you're a member. Glad we can do what we can to help you out as you enjoy aviation in the great state of Alaska, and not just in Alaska, but everywhere else around the world. So with that, we've been running about 10 minutes. Try not to go too much longer than that. But those are some of the big issues that are presently in the works right now and what we're following. Obviously, a lot more things that I'm doing, a lot of meetings and a lot of other issues that we're tackling for you, but those are kind of the big ones. So appreciate you tuning in, and we'll do this again next month, folks. So good night.